Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today from McFarlane Toys and their DC Multiverse line, we are featuring the McFarlane Gold Label Collection Dark Knight Bane. Okay, so this version of Bane, I believe, was the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive at 2023. Unlike the previous release, this was not a Build-A-Figure. It does include all the Build-A-Figure pieces, but the figure came complete, fully whole. You didn't need to buy, like, four other figures to assemble it. It was already, completed as is. The one thing that makes it different, though, from the Build-A-Figure is that it features Bane's fur-lined coat, which we see right there. And then on the back, nice photo of actor Tom Hardy as Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. So if you remember the specific Dark Knight wave that McFarlane put out last year, there was the Christian Bale Batman, the Heath Ledger Joker, there was the Scarecrow figure, and also the Harvey Dent Two-Face. And each one of those included, specific pieces to construct the Bane figure. Unfortunately, I couldn't find all the figures in the wild. Scarecrow and Harvey Dent were the two ones that kind of like eluded me. So it was kind of one of those things that when I kind of learned that this thing was eventually going to come out, I kind of told myself I'm just going to hold off on completing the Build-A-Figure and just wait, till the San Diego one's available and I can just get it one and done. I bought this on the secondary market through a third-party seller on Amazon, and I did pay a slight, I don't want to say slight, but I did pay a significant markup compared to what you would have paid if I bought this at, at the actual convention itself. But we're going to check this out and, put it through its paces. So if you're like me, if you never completed the Build-A-Figure Bane, this is a great way of just, getting it done. And on top of that, you do get Bane's fur-lined coat, which is a much-needed accessory. Oh, and before I get there was also another release of this Bane figure. Again, it was a Build-A-Figure, and it was all the previous mentioned figures, but they're all in the Jokerized color scheme. So if you're really big on the Joker color scheme, for like Dark Knight or Harvey Dent or Scarecrow, you can get all of those, and then the completed Bane was a Jokerized version. Okay, so we have the Tom Hardy Dark Knight Rises Bane action figure, the San Diego exclusive. Let's examine the sculpting up close. It looks like he has some fuzz towards the top of his head. Alright. So, it's a nice figure. I do feel there's a missed opportunity in terms of, like, the paint application. Because this figure was so incredibly detailed, but the paint scheme seemed... Not that it was bad, but it seemed like they missed a lot of opportunity to really detail it a lot further, with like washes and maybe some dry brushing and highlights to bring out the detail. For example, Bane's mask here is incredibly well done, and it's kind of weathered with some dry brushing over like the hoses and the vents and on some of the leather straps. But here on his vest with the harnesses and the underlying vest, it seems like, if they applied it like a black or dark brown wash, they could have really brought out the details and give it another layer of depth. Likewise with the pants, even though they're incredibly detailed, again, it seems like they could have benefited from, some dry brushing or an additional wash. But that's not to take away from the figure. I still think it's a fantastic piece. And it was a highly sought after Build-A-Figure. The coat, it's a nice softer material. It's actually made of fabric, which is nice. There's some people that they're not too keen on fabric accessories on their action figures because it makes them seem more like, dolls. But I think this one's presented well. The stitching's very clean. The cuffs, I feel, could have been a little bit smaller. They look kind of a little bit too big. And let's remove the coat so we can take a look at the figure underneath. And it's a nice coat accessory too. You know, you could probably put this on other action figures if you wanted to. And let's take a look at the Bane. And I lost his hand. Okay, just wait. His hand fell off. So yeah, like I stated earlier, this was the Build-A-Figure from the Dark Knight wave. You know, once he got all the different action figures, each one came with different pieces, and you'd be able to build this guy up. He looks great, but I also kind of feel like he wasn't jacked enough. It's a very hollow figure too. It's very like spongy in his torso, and you can take a peek under there, so you can see that it's a very hollowed out figure. It's not very solid. You'd expect something like this to feel like a brick, but it's not. Again, the head's really clean, really well done, as is the mask. Yeah, another missed opportunity here for the paint application. It'd be nice if they had all the eyelets painted out, but again, that would increase the price of the figure. And considering this was a Build-A-Figure as it was. Yeah, so there's nice details. You know, you have all the laces, the studs, the eyelets. If you're a customizer, you know, you can really bring this thing to life and further enhance the details. My waist is kind of loose for some reason. I'm not sure if that's just the nature of this Build-A-Figure. In terms of the articulation, his head moves. Does he look down? He looks down. Does he look up? Looks up a little bit, not too much. You have articulation in the arms. Does he have a butterfly joint? Yes, he does have the ball-socketed butterfly joint. Arms go up. Bicep swivel. Double pinned elbows with exposed pins. Articulated wrists. Even though the joint is exposed, unlike some of the more modern figures, at least McFarlane did a job of sculpting the ball joint so it conforms to the shape of the forearm. And he does not want to focus. Why does he want to focus? Yeah, this guy does not want to focus for some reason. There we go. Yeah, so you can see here, the ball joint's actually sculpted, so it conforms to the contour lines of the forearm. So it's not as unsightly as, like, for example, I use this a lot, but these older McFarlane figures had that unsightly ball joint for the wrist. This one's a lot cleaner. That's a detail that's, I think, really appreciated. And, yeah, so it's a fantastic figure. And since we're on the subject of Dark Knight Rises Bane, even though this is an excellent 7-inch scale action figure, I think I'm still very fond of the original Movie Masters one done by Mattel, you know, maybe like 10 or 11 years ago. This one I think looks fantastic. I love the plastic coat as opposed to the cloth one. It looks more realistic. You know, once you take this out, it really looks like a doll accessory. And even though this is an older figure and much smaller, you can see what I was talking about with the detailing here, with the additional paint application. You know, they really took it up a notch. I'm not sure which one's more accurate, because there's some slight differences in them. But yeah, let's look at the differences. The belt here looks amazing with all the additional like dry brushing and the washes. The eyelets add another layer of depth to the harness. And same with the boots too. Look at the boots on the old one. So I'm very fond of this older figure. The articulation, it feels very dated, and he's constantly looking down, but it's a great looking figure. Alright, so with that being said, let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. Alright, later.